Hello, and welcome to ElephantAutomation. I'm Nathan Moss, and in this video we're going to discuss the quintessential topic of mappings and variables. The first order of business is defining what a mapping is. In ElephantAutomation, our tools have both inputs and outputs. The inputs change how the tool works. The tool does some stuff, and then the tool sets its outputs. What's really powerful is grasping how to use one tool's outputs to link up to another tool's inputs. This is what a mapping does. It allows you to map the output of one tool to the inputs of another tool. Let's go through a simple example. We're going to get a user's input and then type it into a text field. Here's an example where we've already set up a simple input to take input from a user, and we've got an execute command to open up an instance of Notepad. We've got a mouse click to gain focus on the text field, and we've got a keyboard input tool ready to type something in. Our simple input tool will allow us to enter the person's name, which we will then add to the text which we will type into the Notepad. What do we want to type into the Notepad? How about, "Hello person, how can I help you?" That works just as well as anything else. What we want is to replace person with a mapping to the person's name that they enter into the simple input tool. A mapping is just some text you enter into the input that is in a special format. To format a mapping correctly, you start with the percentage sign, then the step number, then a comma, followed by the output name you want to map to, and finally closed with another percentage sign. Let's look at it in practice. First, we go to the output we want to map to and copy the output's name. Then we go to the input we want to use the output in and enter our map. Type 2 percentage signs, then go inside them and type the step number, which in this example is step 2, then a comma, and paste in the output's name. There, you've created your first mapping. Now, let's run it and see how it works. First, we get to enter our name, then it moves through and we've got our name placed correctly in Notepad. So we now know how to map to another step's outputs, but we can also map to a variable as well. So that begs the question, what is a variable? A variable is just a symbolic representation of a container that holds a value. One of the main advantages of using a variable is that you give it an easy to remember name, which makes it easier to create the macro and easier to read. If you're only going to map to the output once, you probably should just map to it directly. It's easier and cleaner. But if your macro could use an input from several locations, then it just makes sense to use a variable. So let's add a variable to our first example, just to show how it works. We add the set variable tool to our macro. We'll copy our old mapping and use that to set our variable. And we'll call our variable person's name. Next, we'll go to our keyboard step and map it to our new variable instead of directly to the output. To do this, we simply put the variable's name between the percentage signs and we're good to go. So now you know how to use mappings to link outputs and variables to the inputs of a step. Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, please like and share this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below or send them our way via email, which you can find on our website, ElephantAutomation.com. See you soon.